Good evening. You're tuned in to Emo Nightly News every moment online. In tonight's news headlines, Anika Bellot selected as student speaker for Columbia Climate School Class of 2026 graduation ceremony. Dominica Grammar School wins public speaking competition. Antigua and Barbuda increases minimum wage to EC $11.50 per hour amid healthcare and public health reforms. 5 of 7 villagers trapped in flooded Laos cave found alive as rescue efforts continue. Mighty Avengers FC secures first victory of DFA Premier League 2026 season with 3-0 win over Midham United. And Najiko Northern Stars and Kainago Blasters dominate NCCU Premier League match Day 2 action. Details of these stories and more coming up next. Stay with us.
Tico, that's $800. Cash or card?
When cash is low, Tico is still ready.
Always card, Chalo.
Would you like a copy of the receipt?
No, Chalo. NBD already sent me the alert and I'll see it on Mo Banking later. That is it. From card to farm. Power your business with the NBD Small Business Credit Card. Your partner, your bank.
Welcome back. I'm your presenter, Rick Francis, and this is the news broadcast for the 27th of May, 2026. In local news this evening, farmers in Dominica's East Agricultural Region who were severely impacted by the April trough system are receiving much-needed fertilizer inputs as part of the Ministry of Agriculture's ongoing recovery efforts. The initiative forms part of the ministry's continued commitment to assisting farmers in rehabilitating their farms and returning to production in the shortest possible time. Officials say the timely support will help farmers restore crop production, strengthen resilience, and safeguard livelihoods as recovery efforts continue across the region. The ministry also emphasized the importance of rebuilding stronger and supporting national food security while assisting farming communities affected by the severe weather system. The Dominica Bar Association held its 2026 Inter-Secondary School Public Speaking Competition on Tuesday, May 26, at the Prevost Cinema Hall as part of activities marking Law Week 2026. The competition featured high school students debating the topic, Mother Has, Father Has, God Bless the Child Who Has His Own. Is generational wealth building a legacy or a sense of entitlement? Students delivered passionate and thought-provoking presentations as they explored the impact of generational wealth on society, personal responsibility, and opportunity. The event highlighted the strong public speaking talent among Dominica's youth and encouraged meaningful discussion on important social and economic issues. Dominica Grammar School captured first place in the competition, while Portsmouth Secondary School placed second, and Arthur Waldron SDA Academy secured third place in the highly competitive event. Here are some highlights.
Friends, raise your hand if someone in your family has promised you an inheritance. Proverbs 13:22 declares that a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. So what is generational wealth? It is the sacrifice built on the vision, values, and discipline of our ancestors. The most culturally significant form of generational wealth is a family house or land. We all know of someone who built a more resilient home or a thriving business where a little wooden shack once stood decades before on a property purchased for cents.
Ladies and gentlemen, building a legacy means showing up every day to cultivate character, resilience, and accountability in the next generation. As we reflect one last time at the Mountain Palm, it reminds us that the greatest inheritance any parent can leave their children is character, work ethic, and vision that allows them to stand firmly on their own feet. Therefore, I urge our parents to take the time to prepare, guide, and empower us so that we can build a legacy of our own. I thank you.
The Bible warns against this kind of thinking. In 2 Thessalonians 3:10, Paul writes, "The one who is unwilling to work shall not eat." Let's consider the case of Darren. Darren's father owns a small guest house. The plan was that Darren would always take over, so Darren never bothered to learn the business. He never saved his own money. He never developed other skills. Last year, the guest house struggled because of the economy, and Darren had nothing to fall back on. Not because his father failed him, but because he expected everything and prepared for nothing. His parents gave him security, but somehow they also gave him something else. A quiet fear that without them he would not survive. That is not legacy. That is a cage.
Law Week activities continued earlier tonight with a special public education panel discussion designed to inform and engage the wider Dominican community on copyright and intellectual property. The panel discussion, titled "Protecting Your Sound: The Legacy of Bouyon and Other Musical Art Forms Through the Protection of Artists' Intellectual Property Rights," was held at the UE Lecture Theatre from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. The discussion examined the legal and practical importance of protecting the creative work of Dominican artists, with particular focus on Bouyon and other indigenous music as an essential part of Dominica's cultural identity and legacy. According to the president of the Dominica Bar Association, the discussion comes at a particularly important time, noting that Bouyon, Calypso, and other Dominican musical expressions are not only sources of pride and creativity, but also valuable intellectual property that deserves protection and respect. Officials and regional leaders used the opening of the OECS Environmental Sustainability Exhibition in Dominica to issue a strong call for climate action, resilience, and regional accountability in the face of growing global environmental challenges. Dr. Ernie Stapleton, officer in charge of the Environmental Sustainability Division at the OECS Commission, described the exhibition as a powerful reflection of the innovation, resilience, and creativity that define OECS member states. He highlighted the extensive ground-level work being undertaken across the region to advance climate resilience and sustainability initiatives.
The innovation, the resilience, the creativity, and I would even say sheer determination that define our OECS member states and our regional and international partners. Within this space, you will see the practical ground level work being undertaken to advance climate resilience and sustainable energy, biodiversity conservation and ocean governance, sustainable livelihoods and disaster risk reduction, and comprehensive environmental stewardship across our region.
Dr. Stapleton stated that the exhibition's theme serves as a vital reminder that the region possesses the capacity for innovation and collaboration, adding that the exhibits prove sustainable solutions are not abstract ideas, but are actively emerging through the efforts of youth, communities, and development partners.
While our region faces undeniable environmental and economic vulnerabilities, we also possess an extraordinary capacity for innovation and collaboration. The exhibits on display tonight prove that sustainable solutions are not just abstract ideas. They are actively emerging from our communities, our institutions, our youth, our entrepreneurs, and our development partners.
OECS Director General Dr. Didacos Jules also delivered a passionate address, stating that the exhibition theme was not merely words, but a declaration of intent that small island states will not remain passive observers in the global climate crisis.
A declaration of intent, our shared determination that the small island developing states of the Eastern Caribbean will not be passive observers of a world that is changing faster than our institutions can adapt. Dominica has always been a teacher to the rest of us.
Dr. Jules praised Dominica for its leadership in resilience and environmental stewardship, noting that the country has shown the region what it means to live in relationship with the natural world and rebuild with intention as it pursues its vision of becoming the world's first climate-resilient nation. He also stressed the importance of public accountability and said difficult but necessary environmental questions are now being asked across OECS member states.
Across our member states, communities are asking harder questions. How do we protect our watersheds while growing our economies? How do we reduce our dependence on fossil fuels at a pace commensurate with the urgency of the climate crisis? How do we hold together social cohesion when the risks are unevenly distributed, falling heaviest on those with the fewest resources to adapt? This commission exists precisely to help answer those questions collectively, not singly, but collectively. Because our individual capacities are limited, but our collective resolve is formidable. I want to express our deep gratitude to Expertise Trust and all our institutional partners whose support makes this work possible.
Meanwhile, the Minister for Environment stated that climate change impacts were accelerated when people destroyed natural protective systems such as mangroves, emphasizing the urgent need for environmental protection and restoration efforts. Speakers throughout the ceremony issued a strong call to action, urging governments, communities, and citizens to work together to protect the environment, strengthen resilience, and secure a sustainable future for generations to come. La Pointe Dugout of Point Michel held its first official activity last evening with a vibrant cultural night celebrating the rich traditions and talents of the community. President Cindy Etienne welcomed patrons to the event and shared brief remarks highlighting the mission and vision of the group, while explaining the importance of hosting the cultural activity.
On behalf of La Pointe Dugout, Point Michel Stand Up, I am honored to welcome you to our Cultural Night celebration and launching event. Tonight is more than just an event. It is the beginning of a movement rooted in community, identity, and pride. Our mission is simple: reviving our culture, strengthening the future. Culture is the heartbeat of every community. It carries the stories of our ancestors, reflects our traditions and values, and it inspires future generations to embrace who they are with pride and confidence. La Pointe Dugout was created with the vision of bringing our people together, restoring traditions that once united the community so strongly. We are committed to reviving activities and customs that shaped villages' life, including sewinal in the early morning hours with drums, pans, bottles, and singing throughout the community, bonfire nights and traditional village gatherings, cultural dances and performances, training for the youth and other, carnival activities, pageantry, and lapu sessions, teaching and encouraging the art of steel pan, and many more cultural activities that will help preserve our identity for generations to come. This vision has lived in the heart of Mr. Caris Alexander for many years, and tonight we are very proud to see that vision finally becoming a reality.
Etienne also introduced the executive members of La Pointe Dubout and outlined several upcoming activities planned by the organization.
At this time, I would like to recognize the executive members of La Pointe Dubout, Point Michel Stanford. We have our manager, Ronileo Williams Charles, President George Shuri Cindy Etienne, Vice President Donovan Samuel, Treasurer Paris Alexander, PRO Rohanna Joseph, Secretary Aisha Hill, other members Peter Toussaint Jr. And Mrs. Joan Frampton, who is unable to be with us tonight.
The evening continued with speeches from well-wishers and entertaining cultural performances, including conch shell blowing, belly dancing, and saxophone performances, all showcasing the unique talents and cultural pride of the Point Michel community. And finally, EmoNews extends heartfelt congratulations to Annika Bellot on a remarkable achievement as the student speaker for the Columbia Climate School Class of 2026 graduation ceremony. Annika, an international climate lawyer and United UNFCCC negotiator, continues to make Dominica and the Caribbean proud through her dedication to climate justice and advocacy for vulnerable communities worldwide. Notably, she was the only Caribbean student to graduate from the Columbia University Climate School this year and was selected to deliver the student address at the prestigious ceremony. During her inspiring speech, Annika highlighted the vulnerability of small island developing states, including Dominica, while urging her fellow graduates to be bold, courageous, and committed in forging sustainable solutions to tackle climate change. Her message resonated strongly as she emphasized the urgent need for meaningful climate action and global responsibility.
Today is a celebration, but it is also a reminder of what this moment asks of us. I start by recognizing the people who brought us here, our families who sacrificed across time zones, our friends who steadied us through so many moments of self-doubt, and our mentors who pushed us beyond our comfort, and communities who see our education not as individual success, but as collective hope. Allow me to pause briefly to recognize my own support system. My mother, Camilla, whose support has been my compass more times than I can remember, as well as my siblings, Nathan and Nia, and my families and friends who have traveled from very far to be here today. I stand before you as an island girl from a small Caribbean nation, Dominica, often described as a vacation destination before it is described as vulnerable. 10 years ago, Tropical Storm Erica reshaped parts of my island. And just 2 years later, Hurricane Maria decimated it. And I remember standing in the aftermath, believing with a weight that I can still feel, that life as I knew it was over. Homes were gone, landscapes unrecognizable, and normalcy felt like something of the distant past. But for me, Dominica is not a case study. It is home, and what followed can only be described as resilience made visible. Neighbors clearing roads and washing clothes by hand by the riverside, communities rebuilding without certainty, but with determination. This is the resilience and spirit of my people, the only reason I stand here today. You see, I am not simply passionate about climate action. I am desperate to protect my home, my island, and my world.
Her commitment to ensuring climate ambition translates into real outcomes for the world's most vulnerable people is truly inspiring. We wish Anika continued success as she continues to break barriers and make a positive impact globally. Congratulations, Anika. And that's all for local news this evening. Stay tuned for regional news coming up next.
Across our Caribbean, we're going digital, working smarter and living safer online.
In Dominica, we don't fall for fake prizes. We check before we click.
In Grenada, we verify before we share, keeping our hard-earned money safe from hackers.
In St. Lucia, we report cyberbullying, protecting our children and each other.
In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we report scams fast, protecting our neighbors and our communities.
Together, we're building a cyber-smart Caribbean, keeping our people and our data safe, standing up to scams and cybercrime. We stay connected, but always alert. This message is brought to you by the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project. Stay smart, stay safe. Think CARD TP. Visit cardtpconnect.org.
And now taking a look at regional news. Guyana has made medical history with a groundbreaking series of robotic surgeries, including what is being described as the world's longest distance cardiac telesurgery. At 6 a.m. yesterday, internationally renowned cardiac surgeon Dr. Sudhir Srivastava successfully performed a coronary artery bypass graft remotely from Guyana on a patient in India using the SSI Mantra 3 robotic surgical system. The procedure covered an estimated distance of 20,000 kilometers through fiber optic technology, setting a new world record for the longest distance telesurgery ever performed. On-site support in India was provided by Dr. Lalit Malik and Dr. Mohi Badahari, ensuring seamless collaboration during the historic operation. Guyana also celebrated another milestone when Dr. Hemraj Ramcharan, assisted by Dr. Bibi Hussain and Dr. Jangnanad Ramarang, successfully performed a robotic inguinal hernia repair in Guyana. The achievement makes Dr. Ramcharan the first Guyanese surgeon to perform robotic surgery in Guyana and the English-speaking Caribbean following specialized robotic surgery training in India. Following the general surgery, Dr. Sudhir Srivastava also performed a local robotic atrial septal defect repair in Guyana on a patient with a congenital heart condition. The landmark initiative marks a major advancement for Guyana's healthcare system, introducing robotics and telemedicine on an unprecedented scale, while strengthening local medical capacity and positioning Guyana at the forefront of healthcare innovation in the Caribbean region. Several major developments are making headlines in Antigua and Barbuda, ranging from political controversy to healthcare reforms and public health preparedness. An oath controversy erupted during a joint sitting of parliament after opposition leader Jamal Pringle was reportedly asked to leave for not taking the oath of allegiance at the start of the session. The incident prompted 4 opposition senators to stage a walkout in protest. Meanwhile, the government has announced heightened vigilance measures and temporary travel restrictions following global health alerts issued by the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARPHA, and the World Health Organization, WHO, concerning Ebola, malaria, and hantavirus. In labor news, the national minimum wage has officially increased from EC $9 to EC $11.50 per hour. Health Minister Michael Joseph has also announced major changes to the national healthcare system, including plans to relocate the dialysis unit and establish a dedicated asthma bay aimed at improving patient care and medical services. At the same time, Prime Minister Gaston Brown has criticized ongoing legal challenges surrounding the construction of a new airport terminal in Barbuda, while reaffirming the government's commitment to move forward with infrastructure development projects on the island. And that's all for regional news this evening. Stay tuned for international news coming up next. And now for international news. The commander of Hamas's military wing, Mohammed Abdeh, was reportedly killed in an Israeli strike in the Gaza Strip on Tuesday, days after his predecessor also died in a similar attack. According to local medics and witnesses, at least 3 Palestinians were killed and dozens injured when the strike hit a residential building in one of Gaza City's busiest market areas. Israel's military and Shin Bet security service said the operation targeted buildings used as a hideout for Abdeh after his movements were tracked for several months. While Hamas has not yet issued an official statement, local Hamas sources and relatives reported that Abdeh, his wife, and their adult son were among those killed. The strike reportedly hit the upper floors of the Al-Khayali building in central Gaza City, where large crowds had gathered ahead of a Muslim holiday. Witnesses said multiple missiles struck the building almost simultaneously, causing extensive damage and hampering rescue operations due to heavy congestion in the area. Violence in Gaza has continued almost daily, despite the Israel-Hamas ceasefire agreed to in October. Rescuers in Laos say 5 of the 7 villagers trapped for a week inside a flooded cave have been found alive. The villagers were located on Wednesday by specialist cave divers in an underground cavern in the central province of Sai Sombun, while rescue teams continue searching for the remaining 2 missing persons. Thai rescue diver Kenkad Bongkawang confirmed the development on Facebook, stating that the 5 individuals had been found safe. According to rescuers, the trapped villagers are believed to be sheltering on an elevated ledge inside the cave that has continuous airflow. Officials say the rescued individuals will undergo physical assessments and be provided with liquid and gel food as teams work on a safe extraction plan. The rescue operation remains challenging due to flooding and deteriorating conditions inside the cave. And that's all for international news this evening. Stay tuned for the sports segment coming up next.
New game in town. Get ready to match 5 and you can win 10K. Let's go. Play with just $2. Match 5 numbers from 1 to 29 to win. Draws every Wednesday and Saturday at 9 p.m. It's easy, fun, and local. Match 5, your local jackpot game. Dominican National Lottery.
Welcome to the sports segment. The NCCU Premier League continued with exciting action on match day 2 as Najiko Northern Stars and the Signman Kainago Blasters secured dominant victories. Now let's hear from Kimara Ito.
Weekend of the 2026 NCCU DCA Premier League featured an exciting doubleheader with action at the Benjamin Park and at the Botanic Gardens. At Benjamin's Park, Tremors faced off against the Najiko Northern Stars Sports Club in their first appearance of the season. Northern Stars won the toss and elected to bat first, posting 170 for 7, declared after 48 overs. Derwin Lewis led the way with an impressive 84, while veteran Vivian Titt claimed 3 for 45 for Tremors. In response, Tremors struggled with the bat and were dismissed for 60 in 23.1 overs. Asked to follow on, Tremors showed some resistance, but were again bowled out for 117 after 23 overs. Kyron Phillip 3 for 12 and Raymond Kazimi 3 for 23 spearheaded the Stars bowling attack. Chasing just 8 runs for victory, Northern Stars Sports Club sealed a commanding 10-wicket win. Meanwhile, at the Botanic Gardens, fans witnessed an exciting clash between the Signman Kalinago Blasters and Convenience Plus Maho. Blasters won the toss and elected to bat first, posting 210 all out in 41 overs. Aidan Burton top scored with 65, while Dione Roll added 49 and Joel Dura contributed 40. Kamal Hamilton was outstanding with the ball for Maho, finishing with 5 for 54. In reply, Convenience Plus Maho were restricted to 119 for 9, thanks to disciplined bowling from Gian Benjamin 3 for 7 and Chauvin Dorset 3 for 26. Blasters then added 107 all out to their second innings. Michael Joseph 4 for 14 and Kamal Hamilton 4 for 27 kept Maho in the contest with exciting bowling performances. Chasing victory, Maho batted hard but were limited to 85 for 9 as a short contribution from Gian Benjamin produced another strong spell with 4 for 29 to secure a 115 runs victory for the Signman Kalinago Blasters. The 2026 NCCU DCA Premier League continues this weekend with more exciting cricket action across the island.
Mighty Avengers FC secured their first victory of the DFA Premier League 2026 with an impressive 3-0 win over Midham United FC on Tuesday night at the DFA Technical Center. Goals from Jomari Peters, Dwayne Etienne and Javon Bryson sealed the important victory for Mighty Avengers as they moved off the bottom of the standings. The DFA Premier League standings continue to shift following the latest round of matches. Dubla FC remain perfect at the top of the table with 15 points, while Mao Soccer Strikers FC and Southeast FC continue their pursuit close behind. With several key fixtures still to come, the race across the DFA Premier League table remains wide open. And finally, in sports, Castleboro Secondary School, CBSS, has secured a spot in the final of the 2026 Secondary Schools Under-15 Cricket Championship after a commanding 315-run victory over Northeast Comprehensive School, NECS, at Jolly John Park. After winning the toss, CBSS piled up an impressive 364 runs for 4 wickets, led by a superb unbeaten 185 runs from Dejan Benjamin, while Jaquan Williams added 79 runs. Omari John was the standout bowler for NECS with figures of 2 for 89. In response, NECS were bowled out for just 49 runs, with Omari John top scoring with 28. Sandris Tyson starred with the ball for CBSS, taking 3 wickets for 4 runs, while Durante Auguste claimed 3 for 13. CBSS eventually secured a massive 315-run victory to advance to the championship final. And that's all for the sports segment this evening. Stay tuned for the weather report coming up next. And that's a wrap for tonight's edition of Emo Nightly News. Thank you so much for joining us and keeping it locked with your trusted source for news. Before we go, we would like to extend sincere best wishes to all students who will be sitting the Grade 6 National Assessment. Remember, stay focused, confident, and give it your best effort. We wish you every success. From all of us at EmoNews, have a safe and peaceful night. I'm Rick Francis. God bless.